say you don't have enough time. You have exactly the same number of hours per day that were given to Helen Keller, Pasteur, Michelangelo, Mother Teresa, Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Jefferson, and Albert Einstein. There's a quote from H. Jackson Brown Jr., and I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to name off the 3 points that I'm going to talk about and to motivate my people watching about how college is so important in today's day of modern life and how without it, it can be such a drastic way to go about your life. I'm going to talk about one, the desire to compete, with a couple stories for that. Two, give yourself the best opportunity to succeed. You really need to make sure that's one of the key things. And then hard work really does pay off in the end. It always does, and it might not seem like it in the beginning, but it definitely does throughout the course of your life. So we'll get right into it. The desire to compete. Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. That is a quote by Mark Twain. Basically, that's kind of going to lead me into my first story about my high school career in baseball. I played my freshman, sophomore, and then junior, senior year, all 4 years. Didn't play varsity until my junior, senior year. We had a really good high school. But in the beginning of my junior year, I was one of the main pitchers in our team, and I had eventually lost my spot to another kid who was working harder and not necessarily slacking off as much as I was, just because I thought I was, going to be given the spot regardless. So from that, I ended up working a lot harder at it. I ended up putting in a lot more time after school to better myself and to make sure that I was, to be going to be the best. And eventually, I did earn that spot back, which didn't seem like it was possible in the beginning, but after hard work, it did pay off. Next is a story that kind of goes back. I was 12 years old. I was jumping around on a trampoline, and I fell off, and I broke my wrist. First bone I've ever broken in my body, and as the only bone that I've ever broken in my body. And coincidentally, the same day, my uncle had passed away as well. I know that when he passed away, I wanted to use that as motivation to work harder in baseball. Another kind of baseball story. It's just been a huge thing about my life, and it's kind of been a huge motivational thing for me as well. I used the time in my recovery to learn or to adjust or better myself in bunting. That was something that I didn't necessarily need wrist movement to do. All I had to do was hold the bat out, basically. And instead of sitting around and doing nothing, I figured I would better myself in the meantime. And I know that's something that he would have wanted me to do as well. And that was kind of in his memory of doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm short on time. Point two, give yourself the best opportunity to succeed. A lot of people go into college and, it's hard. People don't like it, and it's understandable. It is hard. But you have to think of it more as I'm going to college now, and after 4 years, depending if you do masters or go to get your masters as well, maybe, 6, 7, 8 range, which seems like a lot, but college is short. Once you're done, you're done. Nobody's going to question you after that. With that piece of paper, it means everything towards your career, towards your future, and it's something that's irreplaceable, that's valuable to anything that you do past college. So really the moral of that is that you want to give yourself the best opportunity so that when you're trying to do something in the future, you have that background that you need in order to be able to do what you want to do when you grow up. So that kind of gets me into my next one, and I'll start off with a quote from Christian D. Larson. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside of you that is greater than any obstacle. First story I will give about this, my freshman year, first semester, and I mean this happens a lot with a lot of people transitioning from high school to college, so not necessarily cutting myself any breaks, but I turned in a 2.5 GPA after my first semester of college. I knew that that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to be a C student throughout my entire college, and I wanted to be someone that was better than that. I wanted to be somebody that stood above everybody who, did say, all right, C's in college is fine for me. So going into my second semester, I had a little bit of a better mindset. I cut out the things I didn't need and kept the things I did, and I ended up turning in a 3.0 my second semester, which was huge for me. It really showed me that the hard work really did pay off, and that if I applied myself and actually put in the effort, I could really show myself that the results were there, that the results will come when you do apply yourself. And lastly, my dedication leads to results. That's kind of the same thing. Baseball, we had a great season my junior year, and we were able to make it all the way to sectionals. We ended up losing in sectionals, but we ended up being the best team in our conference that year. And it was a remarkable season. It was a lot of fun to play with all the guys that we had played with, and that the dedication that the team had led to the success and led to us winning our conference, which was a huge thing for our school at the time. So I'm going to wrap it up with that, with my conclusion from a little homemade quote that I made. Even when you're down in the dirt and you don't see things getting better, push through and change a few things of your norm until you start to see the person you want to be standing on the other side of the mirror. Thank you.